What if this life that you're living wasn't the only life you've lived? Let's just say, for an example, the person that you are now is just one chapter in a much bigger story. I'm diving more into something that has been fascinating me for a while, and it's NDE experiences, near-death experiences, or NDEs, and what they might reveal about the nature of the soul. There's this channel I watch. Actually, there's a few, so I'll leave it in the description. But there was this one interview with a guy. His name was John, and he had a near-death experience that completely changed the way he saw existence. In his experience, he wasn't just shown a light or a peaceful place. He was shown other lives, multiple lives that he had lived. In one of those lives, he was a monk, and he was like a teacher, and he taught young children the ways of discipline and wisdom that monks live by. And then in another story, he was like a cobbler. You know, he repaired shoes, maybe even made shoes. He remembers having like this wooden, or wagon with the wooden wheels, and he went around repairing people's shoes and fixing shoes. And here's the one thing that stuck out for me. He noticed that in each of these lives that he was shown, the person he was seeing didn't look nothing like him, but he knew that that was him. He knew, even though they were a different ethnicity or color, that it was him. Undoubtedly knew it was him. And that idea that the soul is constant, that it just, continues, really makes me think and question everything I know about life and identity. There was another one. A woman had come back from her NDE with this understanding that no one goes to hell. And it wasn't because people don't make mistakes, but it was because the idea of eternal punishment just doesn't align with everything that she experienced during her NDE. That was very interesting. She explained it in a way that that really stuck with me. She said, imagine, a parent with their child. You wouldn't condemn your child to suffer forever just because they made a mistake while learning and growing. Like, we're human. That's what we do. We learn, we make mistakes, and we move on. Some of us don't always learn from our mistakes, but a lot of us do. So why would God do something like that? If nothing else, the message she brought back was understanding growth and compassion, not just punishment. And then on a more personal level for myself, something that I thought about a lot over the years, I remember telling my mother when I was about 3 years old that I had lived a different life. And I said I had lived in New York, and I wore a suit to work, and I had a briefcase. And that one night when I was going home, somebody came up to mug me and ended up stabbing me, and I died. So imagine hearing something like that from your 3-year-old. No context, no reason to make something like that up. They're just honestly kind of chilling, but also incredibly fascinating to wonder, where did that come from? And looking back on that moment could be where all of this fascination started. All of my thought process on what happens when we die, and do we believe in God or not believe in God, or do we move on? Does the light switch just turn off and everything goes black, or when we're done here, do we move on to something else? Because honestly, for me, I've just always felt like there was more. There was something else. I just couldn't pinpoint what. I've always had this deep compassion for people, especially if they've been mistreated or like unfairly judged, hurt in some way. I've always had a real compassion for that. I always believed in something really simple that my parents taught me, is treat others the way you want to be treated, and to be courageous, be considerate, and not just because you have to, but because it feels right. And maybe it's possible that the soul does continue on. So if we're really here to learn and grow and experience life from different perspectives, then how we treat each other might matter a lot more than anything else. So whether you believe in any of this NDEs or past lives, or you don't believe in any of it at all, it's worth asking yourself the question, what sort of impact do I want to leave on this life? Because even if this is just one chapter in many chapters that we will live, I believe it's one that matters. That's pretty much all I have. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.